at Molly last night, so let's talk about the Flogging Molly concert. So Flogging Molly in general are just amazing. Next to the Dreadnoughts, I would say they're my favorite Celtic punk band. They're so high energy, so much fun, and the music itself with all their cool instruments is just a great thing to listen to and to watch. Last night's concert was held at the same venue as I recently saw AFI, and the difference between the two shows was quite profound. Just the energy level of the crowd in particular at the Flogging Molly show was so much higher than at the AFI show. There's something about the music that you just can't help but really get into. The war wounds and battle scars, of course, are all part of the live punk show experience, and mosh pits in particular. And it's all fun and games until someone gets scratched right in the eyeball. Of course, I do recognize that it's my own fault, since most people mosh like this. Whereas I mosh like this. My style is just to put my head down and allow myself to be turned into a human pinball, because it's kind of fun just to be completely out of control. The lead singer, Dave King, is doing pretty darn well for being 55 years of age. When Dave talks to the crowd in between songs, he does a really great job of making the audience members feel really special. He makes them believe that they are the best audience they've ever had and that the band has never had such a fun time before. And there's something about his presence that really enhances the live experience for sure. And the rest of the band, of course, are extremely talented musicians and an absolute joy to watch. There is one point I'll dispute with Dave King, however, which is that I believe that Guinness is one of the most overrated beers in the world. I would say, in fact, that it's the Budweiser of Ireland. This mass market garbage, really. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever had a good Irish beer, but feel free to discuss that in the comments below. I haven't had a chance yet to check out Flogging Molly's most recent album, Life is Good. I wasn't super thrilled with their previous album, The Speed of Darkness, but I am a huge fan of some of their earlier stuff like Float and other albums they've done in previous years. So I'm looking forward to having a listen to Life is Good when I get a chance. There are some funny paradoxes going on in the punk scene, to go off on a bit of a tangent. It's certainly not like it apparently was back in the 80s, where you could get beat up or even stabbed just for showing up at the show because kids figured they could get away with it. In the past 20 to 25 years that I've been going to punk shows, I've found it to be nothing but a very friendly, very welcoming, extremely accepting of everybody type of environment. In fact, in the first 5 minutes of walking into the venue, I had a guy walk up to me and say hello and say, "I just gotta touch it, man," and he ran his hand through my mohawk. And then another guy approached me and started chatting with me about the Rancid t-shirt I was wearing. And even in the heart of the mosh pit itself, there's this funny paradox of violence with extreme friendliness. You know, during this song, we'll be all just bashing it up, we'll be hurting each other, there's this chaos and violence. But when the song's over, I'll just have random dudes coming up to me and hugging me and saying, "Yeah, this is awesome, just having a great time." And even when songs are playing, you know, you'll be doing your thing in the pit, and the next thing you'll know, there'll be an arm over your shoulder and some dude just going at the top of his lungs along with the song that's playing. And it's a funny thing how in a society where especially physical affection with males is such a almost taboo, very limited thing, that you get into this environment of violence and mayhem, and all of a sudden that physical affection is there in abundance. And I'm sure alcohol has a role to play in all that, unfortunately, but it's a funny thing that you encounter at punk shows. And the other thing is, when you're in the pit, yeah, we are running into each other, people are coming out bleeding, but at the same time, we're all looking out for each other. When somebody goes down on the floor, the people who are closest to that person will be picking them up. Other people will be holding the crowd back so that they can safely get back to their feet again. I fell down once at the Flogging Molly show, and same thing happened. I had a couple guys just grab me by the arms and haul me up, and just everyone's looking out for each other in there, so that's a pretty cool thing. I also somehow picked up a bit of a stalker halfway through the show. There was this rather inebriated young lady who kept showing up right next to me and trying to have conversations with me, which at the best of times, after all these years of going to concerts, my hearing isn't the greatest, but when the music's blasting right in front of you, I can't hear what anyone's trying to say to me in the middle of a show. Heck, I spent a full minute trying to figure out that a dude was trying to ask me to put him up. I mean, afterwards I was like, dude, just use the universal symbol of I want to be put up. And I don't have to try to figure out what you're saying. But she kept showing up there, and so I kept going back into the pit to kind of try to lose her. And I was getting more and more exhausted as time went by, and I'd come out, take a little break, and then she'd be right next to me, so I'd be going, okay, back into the pit I go, and doing my thing until I felt like I was gonna puke or pass out, so I'd come out for a bit of oxygen, and I'd feel something kind of pressing up against me and look next to me and be like, oh, there she is again, guess I'm going back out there. I mean, she was a lovely young lady, and she seemed very nice, and I'm sure when she's sober she has better judgment in men. But the thing is, when you're wearing the ring, you can't be getting too friendly with people. I don't usually wear my rings during shows because I don't like getting scratched up by other people's rings in the pit, and I don't like my own finger getting chewed up when I'm in there. But I actually had it on for the show for whatever reason, and so yeah, just can't be doing that. So I guess my overall point is I just love the friendliness of the scene when you're in the middle of the show there. It's a great environment to be in. So yeah, Flogging Molly, amazing band, incredible live show. The live experience in particular with them, as with pretty much every Celtic punk band out there, like Dropkick Murphys, Real Mackenzies, Dreadnoughts, all those bands, you have to see them live. They're just amazing, amazing experiences. So high energy, so fun. So yep, love Flogging Molly. Hey, it's Josh here. Just wanting to thank you for watching my video. If you want to support what I'm doing, it would be great if you give me a quick like, a subscribe, and if you'd share this video with one other music fan in your life. Cheers. Where's it going with that? My style is basically just to put my head down and turn myself into a human cube. Pinball? To go off on a bit of a tangent. What was I going to talk about?